Can you? Can you see me?
Let's just film the video.
Zip it! The ghost of Macho Man Randy Savage is here!
Oh my god! Yes, negativity sells, and it sure as hell makes clicking your thumbnails a lot easier. But I, as a gamer, as a nerd, as a creator, I am so tired of being upset for clicks.
Are you listening?
This feels like a weird way to start the stream, but there's no real easy way to say this. Tonight, this episode will be the final episode of the Nerf Report. It'll also be quite possibly the shortest episode in the history of the show, but that's besides the fact. I've been doing this for 8 years. And full transparency, it feels weird to end the show. It genuinely doesn't feel right to end the show this way. If you would have asked me when I was first starting how I imagined the show ending, I would have said that, yeah, it probably would have ended with us doing something funny or something creative or having a montage or us on top. And that's not happening. We're ending the show, and yeah, it's weird. I've been having this conversation for months now of whether or not we should be continuing the Nerf report, and it seems right, and I feel like it's time to pack things up. And I understand for some of you that'll be disappointing. For other of you, you'll be like, "Man, I just found this show. Why are you making this so dramatic?" And again, why it's such a big deal for me is I started the show in my spare bedroom. The first episode I filmed on a rickety paint ladder, and I duct taped a webcam to the top of it, and we made it work. And then fast forward to today, nearly 8 years later, and we're in a really nice studio in my garage. We built a set. We created something really cool, and yeah, that's something I definitely, looking back, take a lot of pride in, is how different this show is from the past to today. And again, I mean, I'm sad, but I'm also a little positive about it, because it's like I built something from nothing into something. You know, this show, there's so many channels and so many podcasts that never make it past the 7th episode. And, you know, we've had our peaks, we've had our valleys, we've had our good moments, and we've had our bad moments. And, you know, we've worked with some of the best companies in the world of Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Lenovo. We've made 2,000 plus videos on this channel, and we've even had 300 plus episodes of the Nerf Report. I looked that up today. I was shocked. And I jokingly look at that and I'm like, okay, we gave it the college try. You know, we did what we needed to. And yeah, so again, this is it. I really hoped that maybe one day this channel could turn into a full-time job, and then I could sit in the studio every single day and produce content, and maybe open up a studio, get some employees, grow the show if possible. Obviously, it burns that that's not happening. It's a big bummer for me. But looking back, it's like this show also was a full-time job, not the one that I wanted, but it was very much a full-time job that we were producing content each and every day. And I thought what was the result of it was something cool. I thought the result of what we were creating would possibly resonate. But I think the longer we went and the more different things we tried to do and more formats we tried to see if they would stick, the clearer it rang that, like, in today's world of algorithms and CTR and thumbnail mechanics and other behind the scenes stuffs, we could never get the audience to the point where it was like, okay, it's sustainable. We can keep doing this. And like, even like the live streams, what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, this was kind of a test for me to try to make this fun and try to make it exciting, but it didn't really catch on with a new audience. And unfortunately, it's just working out to a time where my life, both like professionally and also personally, my responsibilities outside of the show have grown to a point where I just don't have the bandwidth to do this anymore. And I want to be clear. I've had fun. I appreciate every single one of you that have watched this show. It's just my life has gotten to a place where I struggle to find the inspiration to create for you. And I don't want to be putting out bad content. Like, I'm a wrestling fan, and I always laugh at the wrestlers who stay in it for way too long and they can't give it up. And it's just like, ooh, their matches aren't as good as they used to be. And I never want to be a host on this show where someone watches an episode and says, man, you really phoned that one in. And so I want to make sure we kind of get out. And plus, I mean, I think when you look at it from a world of content creation as well, I think it's a good time to leave, because everything feels so regurgitated. Everything feels so unauthentic. Everything lacks inspiration. And it's really challenging to stand out amongst that, because that's what gets rewarded, right? Everything on TikTok is just the same dance over and over. It's the same audio over and over on YouTube. If you're not being negative, you're not being rewarded with reviews. And I don't know. The world's tough enough. The world's challenging enough. I don't want to be a part of that. I would rather stay in my house and play video games and be happy and stay in a bubble where the world's good. And I don't have to phone in fake outrage to be a grifter just to get views on the channels. I don't want to be a part of that. So, yeah. This is the final episode of the Nerf Report. And after tonight, we will say our goodbyes to Nerf Gaming News. I do plan on still creating. Like, this chapter, if you will, is closing and we're moving on to the next. I will be creating other things outside of gaming, other verticals, other genres. I'm a massive fan of horror. And one of my dreams is to produce a horror movie. So I'm going to be playing around with a little more long-form content, a little more scripted content. Obviously, it won't be here on this channel because the way the social media works, you have to have a separate channel for it. And the other side, too, is I want to be the best father and the best husband that I can be. And unfortunately, this show eats into a lot of the time with my family. As much as I've enjoyed hanging out with all of you and you guys have kind of become an extension of my family, I really do want to make sure I don't miss some of these pivotal moments with my kids. So, yeah. Again, I said it was going to be the shortest episode yet. I think we're going to hit it right on the head. This is goodbye. So goodbye, my friends. It was 7 years. They have been very fun. I appreciate each and every one of you sharing your time, giving a nobody like me in his garage the ability to talk about video games. And thank you for sharing the journey with me. Appreciate everything, guys.